but I can tell you it was pretty pain-free.
Yeah.
You know, it was like it didn't hurt. There
Yeah.
wasn't any, it wasn't a struggle. It wasn't
Yeah.
painful. It wasn't like I constantly had to make myself not smoke. It wasn't. It was just like I just don't do that.
Hello and welcome to our first Smoke Freedom interview. My name is Rita Black, and I am the creator of Smokefree123, and which is a hypnosis smoking based program. And we help people online become non-smokers. This is Melanie Lee, who participated in the program. Hey, Melanie.
I
She participated in the March of 2021. So that's almost 2
mm,
years ago. We were just talking about it before we turned the camera on, how exciting it's been that it's almost your second year anniversary.
amazing. Yeah.
And so these interviews are really designed to inspire you if you have been struggling with smoking, to see a lot of times the biggest challenge people have is believing they can do it. And I think seeing how other people go through that process, people just like you who, have well, we'll let Melanie talk for herself, but the idea is that you can get inspired and believe that you absolutely can become a non-smoker. So much of it is mental and
Mm.
not, there's a physical component, of course, but the majority of becoming a non-smoker is mental. So welcome, Melanie. Thank you for being our first interviewee. I'm so
Thanks,
excited to
Rita.
have you.
I'm so honored. That's awesome.
So tell us all a little bit, because I don't even think I know your origin story very much. Like how did you get into smoking? And then like, what was it? I mean, I know, how many years did you smoke for?
Oh my gosh. Okay, for like as a serious smoker, probably since I'm thinking since about 2001.
Hmm.
And then yeah. So how many years is that? I don't know,
I
20.
don't know, how old were you when you started smoking?
Well, I mean, when I was a teenager, I started, and I couldn't get the hang of it because okay, I mean, I was able to smoke, other things, but tobacco, like normal cigarettes, could not, could not figure it out. Like I was just like, this is stupid. I would just choke and cough and be like, why am I doing this? This is no fun. So I stopped, and so then the next opportunity I had, I can tell you that story if you'd like in a minute, but yeah, so I didn't actually pick it up as a thing that like smoking addictively until um 20 or until 2001. And so that made me 30 years old.
Right. And what made you pick it up then?
I was mad at my husband because he was trying to quit smoking, and he was telling me that the reason he couldn't quit smoking was because I was stressing him out.
Wow.
He will, yeah, he's right here in the next room. I was stressing him out, and if only I would stop bugging him about whatever, he wouldn't like leave the house and then go pick up a pack of cigarettes and smoke in his truck or whatever on the way to work or whatever it was. So I was like, oh really? Okay, I said like, oh really? So give me one of those. I literally said this, and I'm thinking I'm
Wow.
safe. I'm safe because when I was 13 years old, I had a cigarette. Nothing happened. No big
Right.
deal. So I was like, let me show you what this feels like. So I was like, give me one of those. And he's like, just kind of helplessly was like, what's going on here? So I went and
Right.
I grabbed a cigarette, and I was like, look. And so I'm going to teach him a lesson. Like, I'm going to somehow prove to him how literally this is my brain thinking, oh, I'm going to show you what it feels like to watch somebody you care about smoke. And so I smoked, and it hit me for the first
Mm,
time, like it
yeah.
does, like it do.
And a
And
lot of
I was
people
like,
that happens to, they'll
now I
they'll smoke
understand.
lightly when they're
Yeah.
teenagers or whatever, and then there's this moment where it just like kicks in, or
Yep.
their
It was
parents
like,
smoke and they're like, I'm never going to smoke, and then it kicks
it
in.
was, yes, it was the first time I was like, oh my gosh, now I understand why people are addicted to this thing. I want more of that. So that was done. I was done. And then I tried so many times since then. I can't even give you a number how many times after that day I quit. I quit on and off for like a month, a couple months. I even quit maybe one time for like a year and a half, 2 years in that 20-year span.
Did you use tobacco, like, did you try using nicotine replacement
Yep.
at all?
Everything you can think of. I tried um the patch. I tried the gum. I used what was that pill? Chantix.
Chantix, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I used
Mm,
that. And I actually quit for over a year on that.
hmm.
Because I got away from the I was and cold turkey. I was able to on cold turkey, um, not eating cold turkey, but literally the concept of cold turkey. You know what I mean? Um, I knew that if I could get past that feeling of withdrawal, if I could force myself to, with everything I had, to get through it and just suffer, then I would be okay. And I was until inevitably I had a stressful day,
Yeah,
or I felt bad, or I was angry, or whatever it was that brought me around to this is a good idea again, and I would be smoking again.
yeah. So what brought you, like, how did you even find out about Smokefree123? Did you
I
do
believe it
my
was a
master
Facebook.
class? Oh, on
No,
Facebook.
I think it was a Facebook ad.
Oh, okay.
And I had heard people, I think I was kind of yet again putting feelers out there saying, hey, I don't we have ridiculous taxes out here in California on tobacco. So I really just I can't afford this. Not that I couldn't afford it previously, but I really couldn't afford it anymore, right? And also my kind of cigarette was menthols, and they were talking about outlawing them completely. So I was like, well,
Yeah.
this is stupid, right? Like I don't even like smoking other cigarettes. I'm like, what am I going to do? So I saw the ad, and I was like, okay, some people told me they had tried hypnosis once and it worked for them. And I had no faith, no faith at
Right.
all that it would work. I was like, all right, you know what? I can't afford this. I'm willing to try. I'll try it. You never know. It was literally
Did
like,
you know
whatever.
anything about hypnosis, Melanie? Like when you enrolled in the program? Because just for you guys who are out there who don't know anything about Smoke Free 123, it's an online program that you do in your own time frame. So it's
Mhm.
coaching videos and an audio hypnosis session. So,
Right.
uh, and when you enrolled in the program, what was your knowledge about hypnosis? Like, had you,
Almost nothing. The only thing I knew is that someone had told me that they had that was something that they did, and then they never spoke again. But
right,
it wasn't your program; it was just hypnosis in general.
that
A
they'd
lot,
probably
like
gone to a
many years
practitioner
before.
in
Yeah,
person and done a session? Okay,
yeah. Just
cool.
they did hypnotherapy, and we were it was like about a year into lockdown for COVID,
Oh,
and so
right.
I was home anyway. I was working from home. I
Yeah,
had to, right? It had been probably, well, it was about a year, almost exactly a
yeah,
year that I'd been still at home working from home. And I was like, you know what? Literally, what do I have to lose? I was demoralized in a lot of different ways. Being home,
yeah,
depressed. I had gained a ton of weight, and or like in my head, it was a lot of weight, and I had broken my ankle, and I felt horrible about everything in my life, and I was like, I can't afford this. I'm tired of smoking. I have nothing to lose. Why not try it?
yeah.
That's it. That's literally it. I didn't have a lot of hope going in.
Yeah. Well, I think that one thing that what you're talking about is a lot of people just lose hope in themselves, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
we disconnect from ourselves, we stop believing in our ability. So we
Mm-hmm.
start to see ourselves as a failure, and therefore that negative viewpoint keeps us from trying things or ultimately being successful.
Mm-hmm.
In the process, we work on that, but um, I'm so glad that you did try it. And for those of you who don't know about hypnosis so much. It's not, I think some people think of it as scary. I don't know that you ever thought of it as scary or voodoo or magic or like, somebody's going to get in your brain and do things, but it's just really a powerful relaxed mind technique. And, the session that you did, Melanie, was an audio. I wasn't even there in person, but
Hmm.
I mean, and during COVID, a lot of people, practitioners or even, like online, they've done studies and they've seen that audio hypnosis can be as effective as in-person hypnosis, which is awesome because then so many more people can get access. They don't have to pay. Sometimes a smoking cessation hypnotherapist can be like $1,000 or
Hmm.
more. But anyway, uh, for those of you who don't know about it, it just really allows your subconscious, which is the resistant part of the part of the brain that's afraid to make change, that it has limiting beliefs and habits, to get really on board with the conscious mind, because most people really truly do want to stop consciously. It's just their subconscious beliefs, that part of the brain is very resistant to change and is afraid. So now, Melanie, talk to me about your experience with the program, because it's funny because you don't remember it a lot. I mean, like, I know we
Hmm.
had talked about like it's coaching sessions and hypnosis, but what
Hmm.
was like when you did it that day? Because it's a one session, you go, you
Yeah.
kind of plan ahead and you set time aside to do it.
Yeah.
So
Okay, I'll
tell
tell you.
us about that experience.
Okay, yeah. So, I listened to there's like a pre-session, I think, where
You
it's you
prepare.
and I'm
Mhm.
listening to you talk and you're saying about what it's going to be like and kind of saying what to expect and what's going to happen and everything else, and I was listening to it and I'm like wow, this is really cool. And so okay, yeah, sure, we'll see what happens. We'll just do this, right? And so I was listening and I was getting ready to do it. I was like, okay, and I'm setting up, my place that I'm going to be, where I'm going to do the sessions and everything in my house because I'm at home, right? It was going to
Yeah.
sit. I'm going to sit in the backyard and I know it was all set. And then you said something to the effect of, I want you to believe in yourself 100%, or I want you to be fully committed to this, right?
Mhm.
Even if you're not sure, just be fully committed. And then I was like, I don't know if I'm fully committed. I want to have a cigarette. I mean, really, I was like, I don't know what I want. I don't know how I cannot figure out if I could say I'm sorry.
It's okay. We'll edit this out. Don't worry about it.
Okay. So anyway, a month later, I believed in I thought about it again and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. Something, the person that I want to be is not somebody who smokes. This is not what I want. I just don't want it in my life anymore. I can't afford it. I don't want to spend the money on it. So I get again had the maybe willingness, or I had the maybe inspiration or something, just a little, just enough to put me back into let's try, you know.
Mhm.
And it could be that I took those words, be committed, a little bit too literally. I don't know for myself, right? I want to be real about it, right? Like,
Right.
so anyway, I did it. And I went back in and I started and I listened to the part where it said, be fully committed. I'm like, okay, we'll just say yes. Right. And so I
Yeah.
did it and I listened to the rest of it and I did everything that you said to do. I literally just sat there, I listened to it, I had my last cigarette while I was listening to it. I did all the things, and that's pretty much, I remember listening to you talk about, or I remember some of the visualizations. I remember, should I say?
Yeah.
Is it okay to say?
I don't know. Are you going to explain the visual?
Yeah. It's
Maybe
literally
hold
just two
off on that.
words. Just two words.
Okay. You
Should I
can
tell you?
use.
Can always take it out, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Smoke monster.
Oh, yeah. Cigarette
Yes.
monster. Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Smoke
cigarette monster.
monster.
Yes. I saw that. I
Uh-huh.
saw that fully. I'm very good. I'm a very good visual, like imaginer. What, I can't think of the word that I'm saying, but
Visualizer.
yes, yes. And so I saw it and it was like yes, and it was gone, and it was just like locked up, and I was like okay. And I still have moments where it occurs to me that it's 2 years later, almost, what, right? Next month, it'll be 2 years. And every once in a while, I'm stressed out and I say to myself, look at me. I am stressed out. I'm a non-smoker, stressed out as a non-smoker, thinking about having a cigarette as a non-smoker. And I don't.
No, because you're a non-smoker.
Yes.
How was the process like? You did the hypnosis, you were
Mm-hmm.
done, you were a
Mm-hmm.
non-smoker.
Yep.
How was that transition out into your life after the program? Like after I know there's like a week of support, like you
I
get
think, yeah,
support.
I don't really remember that much of that part of it. I'm sure that I probably read the messages, or there were probably emails or something that
Yeah, there
I
were
remember.
emails with
Was
recordings.
it? Okay, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. I think I remember. Yes, you know what? I sort of do remember now. I remember feeling reinforced. I remember feeling like going over some of the new concepts and the things that I wanted to, keep fresh in my mind. And it worked. I mean, it worked. That's all I can really say. Like, it's kind of a big blur right now,
Yeah.
but not because I mean, not because there was anything that made me forget. It's just been that long. It's just been 2 years.
I know.
But I can tell you, it was pretty pain free.
Yeah.
It was like it didn't hurt. There
Yeah.
wasn't any. It wasn't a struggle. It wasn't
Yeah.
painful. It wasn't like I constantly had to make myself not smoke. It wasn't. It was just like I just don't do that.
Cool. Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
kind of feeling you can get when that your conscious and your subconscious align.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Melanie, how do you feel now how's your life now as a non-smoker? How does that feel?
It feels great. Every once in a while, if I go around people that are smoking and I smell it, and I'm like, oh yeah, I remember what that smells like. And if I do have a slight feeling of wow, I wish I could do that, it goes away so fast.
Yeah.
Nothing that's drawing me in that direction. And I have had stressful days, just like the same kinds of stressful days I had before, when I would immediately be on a mission to get a cigarette.
Yeah.
And I just don't. It's just not,
Mm,
it's not interesting to me. It's not seductive. It's not anything. It's just something that used to exist, and I'm incredibly grateful that I don't have to worry about it now. I didn't like the feeling of I have to have a cigarette.
right.
I didn't like the feeling of no matter how much money I have or don't have, I have to have a cigarette. I didn't like the feeling of being controlled by that, whether I liked it or not.
Yeah. Now, something that I want to mention that some people are concerned about weight gain after quitting smoking. Now, you've released how much weight since you quit smoking?
65 pounds.
So Melanie has actually done the opposite of what most people fear, which
Mm-hmm.
is released weight. I know Melanie has done the shift program, the hypnosis based as well, but I think a lot of people struggle with the fear of overeating, not being able to not eat, but that was not a problem for you. I mean, I know you started the weight mastery program pretty quickly after you
Yes.
became a non-smoker.
Yes, I
But I
started
mean,
it. I quit in March, started the shift process in May.
yeah. And
And
you and
just because I don't even know why. I don't
mm,
even know why, except it was, it was suggested, and because I was already working with you and I came across it, and I was like, it works so well for the other thing, why not try this?
right.
You
I'm so
know,
proud of the
no
journey
pressure
you've
or
gone
anything.
on.
Yeah, me too. I'm proud of myself too. And I
Yeah.
couldn't say that before about anything
Yeah.
in life. Now
Wow.
I'm proud of a lot of things, and I'm proud of myself, and I care about myself, and I'm grateful for my life. and I'm grateful for you.
Oh, well, I'm grateful
Great.
for you.
Thank
How
you.
does your family feel about your
They're really
transformation?
happy and they're really proud of me and they're really amazed. And they are like, I have it okay, and random people that are sort of on the even on the fringes of my life will ask me also, what did you do? And I tell them.
Oh,
So like,
yeah,
yeah, like everybody, yeah. So it it hasn't been just I don't smoke and I lost weight. It's been transformed a transformation of my life and my ability to be good to myself and start to realize that I can do things kindly for myself and allow myself to do things I was avoiding before because I didn't trust myself, I didn't love myself, I didn't like myself. Starting I've been able to start healing some, from past trauma and not being good to myself,
that's
all that.
so amazing. I know that's, I mean, when you do something like, and I've seen this with other people too, but you're so special, Melanie. Um, when people heal, when they become a non-smoker, when they release weight, when they really, because I do think it goes beyond just stopping smoking. It
Mm-hmm,
starts to be really radically showing up for yourself and your
mm-hmm,
life and committing, like you said, making a commitment to yourself and saying, I don't want to be that person who smokes anymore. I have a bigger vision. And I
mm-hmm.
think what a lot of people see as smoking as a deprivation or quitting smoking as a deprivation, not a transformation, an evolutionary point in their life.
Yeah,
And that is what I
yeah.
see in you. And that is so great. And so,
Thank you.
one last question, Melanie, before
Sure.
we end our interview is like, if somebody was out there struggling, smoking, because I remember too, as a smoker, like every day you're like, why am I doing this? But still feeling so compelled to smoke. And it's like, why am I doing this? I love this. I hate this. I
Yeah,
love this. I hate this. Like if somebody was in where you were in your shoes,
yeah.
like what would you say to them would be the first step? What would be your advice to them from where they're
I would say,
standing today?
yeah, I would say trust that this is here for a reason, that this is coming across you and your life for a reason. Trust that your life can be all the things that you ever really did want it to be. You are worth it. This is worthwhile. You are worthwhile. Um, your life can be much, much better than you ever imagined or allowed it to be before, like me, we started putting poison into our bodies and doing things to try to kind of cover up pain and hide from pain instead of um, do the things that we care about and are good for us. This is a,
Mm.
this is a way to do it, and it's the simplest, easiest way I found, and it's so worth it. It's it's worth it. Just give
Well,
yourself a chance.
amazing.
Give yourself a chance. Really, I promise. It's worth it.
Mm. Well, thank you so much for coming on today and
Yeah.
sharing so profoundly of yourself. Really appreciate it. And thank you for
Sure.
being our first interviewee on the
This is
Smoke Freedom
exciting.
interview series. Thank you, Melanie.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thanks for letting me.